Welcome back, children. So when we started transportation, we learned that there are three important components which are involved in transportation in human beings. What are the three important components? They are the blood vessels and the heart. So we saw the functions of blood, the components of blood. We also saw the functions of blood vessels. So in today's video, we will be learning about the heart, the structure of heart and also the function of heart. So if you see the structure of heart, the human heart, it is a conical muscular organ. Okay, so conical means like a cone. Okay, so it is a conical muscular organ, the shape of a cone. Alright, and where is it located? It is present in the thoracic cavity. We call this chest part as the thoracic cavity. So it is present in the thoracic cavity in between the two lungs. Though we always feel that the heart is towards the left side, it is actually present between the two lungs. But because of the pumping of the heartbeat, it looks like its presence is more towards our left side. If you see again the structure of the heart, it is broad above. The upper portion is broad and it narrows down as it comes below. So the lower portion is, or the apex is narrow. Color is red, reddish in color. And what about the size? It is the size of our fist. When you just close your fingers, okay, so when you just close your fingers, you can see this size, no? So the size of your fist is actually will be the same as the size of your heart. And our heart, it weighs around 250 to 300 grams. Usually in case of men, it is 300 grams and in case of women, it is around 250 grams. So, and the membrane which covers the heart is termed as pericardium. It's a thin membrane which covers the heart and is termed as pericardium. If you see the heart, it is made up of 4 chambers. It is divided into 4 parts, 4 chambers. Upper there are 2 parts and lower there are 2 parts. So there are 2 chambers above and 2 chambers below. Okay, so the upper 2 chambers, they are termed as atria or auricle, and the lower chambers, they are termed as ventricles. Upper chambers are termed as atria. Atria is plural and atrium is singular. Atria or auricle, and the lower chambers are termed as ventricles. So there are a total of 4 chambers. Heart is surrounded by pericardium membrane. The upper chambers are termed as atria or auricles and the lower chambers are termed as ventricles. And again, if you see the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart, they are separated by a membrane called as septum or septa. The right and the left side, they are separated by septum so that it prevents the mixing of blood. When we are learning about circulation, we will see that one side of the heart only oxygenated blood flows and on the other side of the heart deoxygenated blood flows. So to prevent the mixing of blood, the heart is divided into different chambers and the chambers are separated through different membranes. So the right side and the left side of the heart is separated by septum. Again, if you see the left atrium and the left ventricle, they are separated by a valve which is termed as bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. And the right atrium and the right ventricle, they are separated by tricuspid valve. Okay, so remember, outermost membrane, pericardium, and in between now there are 4 chambers, upper 2 chambers, lower 2 chambers. left side and right side separated by septum, and if you see the upper left atrium and the left ventricle is separated by bicuspid wall, and the right atrium and the right ventricle is separated by tricuspid wall. So this is the structure of heart. Okay. Where is it located? Remember, in between the lungs, just above it is actually resting in our diaphragm, the chest cavity. Diaphragm is there, no? So it is actually resting above the diaphragm. It is present in the thoracic cavity between the two lungs, slightly tilted towards the left. Now that we know the structure of heart, let us now learn how blood is circulated. Blood is pumped by the heart to different parts of our body. Blood is circulated, the blood capillaries will take the blood which is circulated, which is transported or pumped by the heart to various parts of our body. So to make it simple, I have just drawn the schematic diagram. Okay. Let us just imagine that this is the, and if you see the walls of atrium, they are also thinner than that of ventricles. Okay. Upper two chambers, lower two chambers, and just imagine when you are standing, if I am standing in front of you, so this is the left side, this will be the left side and this will be the right side. So when I am drawing also, you have to draw it in the same way. Okay, not like a mirror image, but the left side of the board will be the left side of your heart, and the right side where you draw will be the right side of your heart. So this is the left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, and I have drawn here the lungs. This is not the position to make the flow, to show you the circulation of blood. I have just drawn the lungs here, and here I have just represented all the body parts. Okay, so lungs in between the heart, and here the body parts. So in the beginning, what happens? We know that after respiration, okay, so respiration, we know that there is a lot of oxygen supply inside the lungs. Now the blood has to go through the lungs and then come to the heart to bring all the pure or the oxygenated blood to the heart from the lungs. So this is taken care by a vein called as, a blood vessel called as pulmonary vein. You remember when we learned about the function of arteries and veins, we saw that veins always carry blood towards the heart and arteries always carry blood away from the heart. So this is pulmonary vein, so definitely it has to carry blood to the heart. So from where it is carrying from the lungs. The term pulmonary means related to lungs. So pulmonary vein will carry blood from lungs to the heart. What kind of blood? It is oxygen rich blood or oxygenated blood. But again we learned that veins are involved only in carrying deoxygenated blood. But I also mentioned that there is an exception. So the exception is pulmonary vein, which only carries oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. So oxygen rich blood enters the heart through the left atrium. From lungs to heart through pulmonary vein, it enters the left atrium. Whenever blood enters the heart, it always enters the upper chambers. Okay, so here it enters the left atrium. Now again this oxygen rich blood from atrium, it is pushed into the left ventricle. Through which wall? Yes, bicuspid wall. Okay, so oxygen rich blood from atrium, it moves to ventricle. Now from the ventricle, this oxygen rich blood is pushed outside. So when it is pushed outside, it is going away from the heart, which means arteries will have to carry this blood. And which artery is going to first take this blood? It is the giant artery, the largest artery called as aorta. A-O-R-T-A, but it is pronounced as aorta. Okay, it is the largest artery. So from the left ventricle, the largest artery, aorta, carries the blood. This aorta cannot go to all the organs by itself. No, so it will split into several small arteries. and all these arteries will carry oxygenated blood to different body parts. So when it reaches the body parts, we now know that the arteries will break up into capillaries. The capillaries will now exchange oxygen as well as other materials, and then it will absorb carbon dioxide, and now the carbon dioxide from the capillaries will move to veins. So after the exchange which happens inside the body cells, now the blood is filled with carbon dioxide and other substances. Oxygen is entirely utilized. So whenever the blood is now deoxygenated, right? So when the blood is deoxygenated, it is next transported through the veins to the heart. So now when it comes to the veins, we know that veins are now going to take it back to the heart. So many veins, many body cells, many veins, they take the deoxygenated blood and they all combine together and pour it into a giant vein, which is called as vena cava. So this vena cava, just like we have a giant artery, there is also a giant vein which is going to collect all the deoxygenated blood from different veins which are bringing from different body parts, and this vein, deoxygenated blood through the vena cava again enters into the heart, and as I told you, it enters the upper part. Which part? Upper right part, which is the right atrium. So now the right atrium is filled with deoxygenated blood. From here it is pushed into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve, and from the right ventricle it is again taken back to the lungs for purification. So this deoxygenated blood is taken from heart again through an artery. Now which artery? It contains deoxygenated blood. So it is that exceptional artery which is pulmonary artery. So this pulmonary artery is going to take back the deoxygenated blood back to the lungs for purification. So remember, from lungs oxygenated blood enters the heart through pulmonary vein. From heart, deoxygenated blood goes back to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Okay, and which is a giant artery which takes the blood and passes it to the different small arteries, that is aorta, and which giant vein will take it from different veins and pass it and bring it back to heart, that is vena cava. Now if you can remember, also remember there are two types of vena cava. One is called the superior vena cava and the other one is inferior vena cava. So the vena cava which collects deoxygenated blood from lower parts of our body is called as inferior vena cava, and the vena cava which collects deoxygenated blood from the brain, from above the heart, they are termed as superior vena cava. Okay, so also remember that this is termed as double circulation. Why? There are two reasons. One, there is a circulation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. If you see, the entire left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood and the entire right side contains deoxygenated blood. So circulation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood happens simultaneously, so it is called as double circulation. Or circulation happens between heart and lungs, and circulation happens between heart and body parts. Also that way it is termed as double circulation. Circulation between heart and lungs is termed as pulmonary circulation, and circulation between heart and different body parts is termed as systemic circulation. So together pulmonary and systemic circulation, they are termed as double circulation. So I hope this is clear to you. Just go through it repeatedly, draw it, and also check with the diagram which is given in your textbook. Practice with that diagram also. Learn about the functions of different veins, functions of the different chambers of heart, what is double circulation, where does oxygenated and deoxygenated blood flows, what is the function of capillaries here, what are the functions of aorta and vena cava. In case you have any clarifications, we will discuss it.